Megan was excited for the weekend. She was finally free of her endless schoolwork and the typical social pressures of being a high school junior. The small town of Maple Hollow had never been known for its excitement, but this weekend promised a thrilling Halloween party at the old Holloway mansion, where urban legends swirled among its decaying walls. As Megan and her friends arrived, the sun dipped low, casting long shadows that danced on the cracked surface of the driveway. The air was electric, filled with laughter and the sharp scent of autumn leaves. Jack, her best friend, nudged her playfully. "Bet you can't last a whole hour without a ghost story." "Challenge accepted," she replied with a smirk. The mansion loomed larger as they entered, a relic of a time when luxury was a facade hiding much more sinister realities. Conversations buzzed around her, and Megan found her space among the clump of giggling teens. They wandered through rooms draped in cobwebs, with flickering lights that barely illuminated the faded wallpaper. Just as the clock struck 10, an old grandfather clock chimed eerily, and the lights flickered out completely. Gasps and laughter mingled in a chaotic but fleeting panic. She could hear the strained whispers of partygoers trying to reassure each other. But Megan felt the oppressive weight of something more. An unmistakable chill swept through the room. Suddenly, the lights flashed back on. But everything felt wrong. The laughter had faded. A fog of tension settled in the room. She looked around and could see her friends' confused faces. Confused, she checked her phone, but the screen was frozen. "What just happened?" she asked, looking to Jack. "Maybe we should check the basement," he suggested, eyeing the door at the far end of the room. "There's probably a generator down there or something." With trepidation settling in the pit of her stomach, they moved through the large hallway, shadows swallowing them. The door creaked ominously, revealing a narrow staircase leading to darkness. As they descended, an overwhelming sense of dread enveloped them. They arrived at a small room lit by old kerosene lamps, filled with dusty furniture and expectancy. Old newspaper clippings lined the walls, speckled with stories of past residents who went missing. "This is creepy," Megan muttered. "We should really head back." Just then, Jack reached out and touched a weathered clock resting on a forgotten table. "Hey, check this out." He leaned closer, and with a light push, the clock began to tick loudly, the echoing sound drowning out their heartbeats. With that sound, the world around her warped. Shadows twisted and stretched, swallowing light until Megan felt suspended. "Jack?" she called, but it was as if her voice melted into the silence. Then, just as suddenly as they had begun, the shadows released their grip. She gasped, stumbling slightly, finding herself back in the party. The clock chimed again, the same ghostly note she had heard before. They were back to the 10 o'clock moment, with everyone still frozen in confusion. Panic surged. "No, no, no, not again," Megan cried, glancing around. "Something's wrong," she yelled to her friends, who were just beginning to realize they were trapped in a repeating loop. The same dance of moments flashed by: music, laughter, the dread, then the shadows, then the clock chiming again. Each cycle compounded her fear, increasing the overwhelming sensation of despair. They fled the party, but the moment reset perpetually. Each iteration took more time from her. She found she could hardly remember the details any longer. Yet, the clock always remained. It was demanding attention, an ominous reminder of their entrapment. On the 6th loop, Megan resolved to destroy the clock. "We need to break it," she told her friends, who were reluctantly following her lead. "It's what's keeping us here." They rushed back down into the basement, convinced this time would be different. Jack found a heavy metal object, and she handed it to him with frantic urgency as they approached the cursed clock. With each swing, its face shattered, glass splintering like ice. Time warped again, and they felt a piercing, horrific scream enveloping them. This time, the shadows crept back, colder than before. But when the echo of chimes faded, they found themselves in a new space. Bright lights blinded them, and when they regained their sight, the party was gone, muffled laughter replaced by an oppressive silence. They stood in a mirror-filled chamber, their reflections staring back, contorted with fear. "What is happening?" Jack whimpered. "Time isn't just looping," Megan realized, dread tightening around her chest. "It's punishing us. Maybe we have to face what this place was about." Just then, enveloping shadows morphed, disguising the figure of a girl from the old newspaper clippings. A lost spirit tethered by the mansion's darker history. "You awakened me," she whispered, her voice chilling the air. "Now you will pay the price for what you've disturbed." With each realization of their own consequences, time began anew, and they heard the foreboding chime echo endlessly, each toll sealing their fate in a nightmarish extension of eternity. The residents of Maple Hollow would tell stories of the Holloway mansion long after this night, each tale deepening the legend. But Megan, Jack, and their friends were now merely specters of their past, forever reliving their final night, trapped within the haunted echoes of time.